way, and it inspires you to just start being creative again. I've been saying that I wanted this, but now I also don't know what to do with it. You need other people who are doing the same thing as you. So I want to chat with you today about 5 ways that you know you're ready for a mastermind. Now, listen, before you turn off the podcast, before you turn off the video, I want you to maybe think through and maybe just ponder why the second I bring up something like a mastermind, does it trigger something inside of you that immediately says, there's no way I could. Nope, that's not for me. When you perhaps don't even know anything about it. It's interesting how we condition ourselves to instantly discredit ourselves or count ourselves out. And rarely sometimes even entertain the idea of something different for our life than what we currently have. I do think that having the ability to go, how could I make this happen, is one of my secret sauces. I really do. I think if you were to ask my husband, he would tell you the same thing. When opportunities come up for us, very rarely do I like, well, we can't, there's no way we can go to that event because XYZ. Instead, I'm always like, well, how could we make this work? What do we have that we could kind of put together to make this possible for us? What could our future look like? How could we take that vacation? How could we buy another VRBO? What would happen if? And so just the idea of being open to something, I think, is so important if you're going to grow as a business owner. I do. And so if you are tempted to turn off this podcast already, like, I encourage you to sit and listen to it. Whether or not you join my mastermind is a whole nother thing, but you might learn something just by listening today. So I want to give you 5 ways that you could know that you're ready to join a mastermind like mine. All right. 5 ways. I'm going to give you 5. Number 1, if you are somebody who both wants and understands proximity. So you guys have heard me talk about proximity before. And I think that there's just something that happens when you get close to, when you come in up under people who provide for you a covering, people who are operating at a different level than you, people who you want to learn from and perhaps get some modeling from. Listen, I've always understood proximity, and it's something that I even have, maybe we could call it like evidence over here on my desk. I have taped up pictures of me and the following people. Me with Chip Gaines and Joanna Gaines. Up there's a picture of me and Lisa Bevere. There is a picture of me and David Green, the CEO of Hobby Lobby. I also have a picture of me and Dave Ramsey. I have a picture of me and Trey Roberts, Pastor Trey Roberts. And also, let's see, I have a picture of me with Lance Wallnow. And Sarah Jakes Roberts. I had to look at, I'm squinting here without my glasses. Sarah Jakes Roberts. I can remember going to a couple of events with those people. They were their events and I was just going. And I can remember thinking to myself, Lord, why do you have me going there? Why do you have me leaving my family, leaving my husband and children, traveling across the United States to sit in on an event hosted by one of those people or where they were going to be the speakers? And every time I would understand it to be proximity, because I needed something that those people already have. I needed to see what was possible that those people are already doing. I needed to get up under the teaching of people who have gone before me. I needed to be close to the people who were carrying that mantle. There's like almost like a transference of something that happens when you're in proximity to people who are people that you admire, who are people of integrity, who are people that are modeling for you life, business, motherhood, entrepreneurship, etc. If you understand proximity, that's a good reason for you to join a mastermind. You understand what being close to other people who are doing the same thing as you provides. You understand that when you get around a group of people who are operating at a different level than you, that you will either rise to the occasion or that's the only option. You understand that collaborating with people is so beneficial. That's all proximity. And if you understand proximity, you know that a group like a mastermind is perfect for you. Number 2 way that you know you're ready for a mastermind is if you're somebody who is needing to get unstuck in your business. So if you have reached a point where you're just hitting up against that same mountain, if you have reached the point where you once again feel like you're circling the same issues, if you feel like you've gotten to this point in business where you can't go any further because you can't really see any other possibilities, but you know that right now you're having a hard time making decisions. You're having a hard time understanding how this is going to go to this and that is going to go to that. If you need to borrow some confidence from other people, if you need to change some of the beliefs that you have about yourself, about business, about money, if you just need to get unstuck in general, that's a great reason to join a mastermind. Number 3 reason that you should consider joining a mastermind. If you are in need of a really fresh perspective, listen, here's what happens in life and in business. We begin to develop tunnel vision because we only surround ourselves with the same group of friends, the same family members, the same teaching, the same, church, the same whatever. And we get to where we really can't even see outside of that because we are only kind of limited sometimes by what we've seen based on our experience. And so sometimes I think just having somebody else that has completely fresh eyes to look at your business and to give you some perspective, that can change everything. I mean, how many of you, when you think about sometimes people see something in you before you see something in you. Some of you have a spouse that sees something in you and sees something in your business that even you don't. It's like they can see on another level almost. And some of you need to get in a group like that, where other people can see your business at another level, give you some fresh perspective, give you some fresh eyes, give you just another way of maybe looking at the same thing that you've been going round and round with for years. If you're somebody that needs a fresh set of eyes, innovation. Listen, I remember, was it 2 years ago that the Lord gave me the word innovation for my word for the year? And then this year, my word of the year is innovate. And I'm like, wait, innovation was here. Innovate. Interesting. So how am I innovating? Well, I get a lot of advice from the mastermind that I am in, from the other women that I meet with every week who are in that mastermind, from other mentors and people who have gone before me in business. A fresh perspective can change everything because sometimes there's something so obvious that you're just missing. The other day, I actually went to one of the ladies that's in my mastermind, and I was talking to her about, she currently offers a course for people. And I was telling her, I think what you should do is you just need to offer people a done for you version as well. And I was reminding her that people either have time or money. Rarely do they have both. And that her ideal client is somebody who doesn't have a lot of time, but does have a lot of money. And that if she would just provide for them a done for you service where she was the one that went out and did this thing in business for them so that they didn't have to, that I think would take her business to a whole new level. It was just giving her a different perspective because sometimes you get so close to what it is you're doing, you can't see the forest for the trees. So if you need a fresh perspective, find yourself a mastermind. Number 4, you need support of some kind. Listen, it's always fascinating to me that sometimes women will start to see a little bit of progress in their business. They'll gain a little bit of headway. They'll start, doing some things, making some progress, making some sales, et cetera, et cetera. But then they also kind of start wigging out about that. It's almost like they don't even know sometimes what to do with the sales. It's like that hot potato with money syndrome. Like I've been saying that I've wanted this, but now I also don't know what to do with it. It is so important to get in a group that supports you, but can support you through those sorts of things. Because strategy alone is not what's going to take your business to the next level. You might need accountability. We have an accountability coach in my mastermind. You might need the accountability also of just investing in a mastermind. You need other members, other people who are going to celebrate with you. We're going to celebrate the fact that you just hit this milestone, or I'm thinking of Kristen Farrell, who just hit 50,000 downloads of her podcast in the first year, who's in my mastermind. Being a business owner can be hard, and it can be lonely. And there's not a lot of people probably in your world who get it, who understand it. And it can feel so isolating to be doing this online world all by yourself. So you need desperately to get involved in a group. And yes, even if you're an introvert, listen, introvert right here. But that doesn't mean that you don't still need people, because you do. Who else are you going to bounce ideas off of? Who else are you going to bounce thoughts off of? Who else are you going to get some tactical feedback from? It can't be your BFF. She's in a completely different world than you. She works a 9 to 5. She does something completely different. You can't be mad about it. You can't be mad that your sister doesn't understand what you're doing. She's not in this online space. You can't blame them for not being able to give you sound advice or really relate to what it is that you're saying. You need other people who are doing the same thing as you. That could be the whole missing component to your business. You've got to get around some other people that understand the vocabulary, the vernacular, the pressures, the stresses. You need a coach. Because otherwise you're just asking your 5 best friends, and you're going to get 5 different answers, and they're not even in this industry. You need support. And lastly, the number 5 reason that you should consider joining a mastermind is because you might need inspiration. You just might need to see what else is possible. You need new ideas. Listen, it is not business like it was 2 or 3 years ago. Things have changed a lot. Sometimes we get this tunnel vision only into our industry, and we get tunnel vision only with the things that we've seen, and we get tunnel vision not really even aware of what else is going on. And what happens when you get inside of a mastermind, you start talking to other people who are in a different place in their journey, and probably different industries and niches, is you start talking to somebody in a different industry, and it starts giving you ideas for your own. You start talking to somebody that does something completely different than you, but they do it in a different way, and it inspires you to just start being creative again. We get so wrapped up sometimes in the way that we're doing business and the way that we're doing things, that eventually you created the business from a creative space, right? But then you get into the business, and then you start treating it like a job, which I know that it is, but the creativity sometimes falls to the wayside because you have to make deadlines, you have to post on social, you have to send the emails, you have to do the launch, all the things. And we lose that creativity that allowed us to even make the business in the first place. So sometimes just getting around people who are inspiring and whose businesses are different will help you almost do kind of a reset, to where you're like, well, bam, wow, I'm doing this, this, and this. Why am I doing this, this, and this? Notice how they're doing that, that, and that. Why can't I do that? I'm telling you, when you get into a group like a mastermind, and you see what's possible, and you see what other people are doing, it is amazing how it's contagious. The creativity is contagious. The inspiration is contagious. Every time I ever go to one of my mastermind events, I come home with pages full of things that I want to try, things I want to tell the team, things that I'm really excited about, things I want to shift. It's amazing too how God will just download to you and to me when I go to my own mastermind, things that, I hadn't even thought about, ideas that I hadn't even really considered before. So listen, if you are not currently in a mastermind, I want you to find one. If you're not currently invested in your own business growth, I want to tell you, you need to be. There are very few businesses that get past a certain level by just white knuckling it and doing it all yourself. There's just very few. You're going to have to hire some people that are going to have to come alongside of you. And one of those people needs to be a coach, and a coach that you really can relate to, a coach that you really resonate with, and a coach who can help you see what's possible for yourself and help you to get to the next level. So if that is something you're interested in, I want you to go right now to creatorsnextlevel.com and fill out an application. I would love to have you in my mastermind. Until then, be blessed. See you soon. Bye-bye.